For more on this, we're now joined by Professor Bheki Mngomezulu, Director of CANRAD at Nelson Mandela University. He joins us now via our video link. Professor, thank you so much for your time this evening here on SABC News. Now, today we saw the MK Party holding a rally in Vosloorus on Gauteng's East Rand. Of course, this is to thank the supporters of the MK Party because this is also an area where the MK Party was able to gain a lot of traction during the 2024 elections. What do you make of this rally ahead of the party celebrations on the 15th?
Good evening, Sisimvali, and good evening to your viewers. First of all, I must say that this is a significant moment for former President Zuma and his MK party. And then the second point worth noting is that it basically debunks the myth that the MK party is a party for the Zulu people. You recall that when the party was launched, was first announced, it was announced in Gauteng, not in KwaZulu-Natal. And when it launched its manifesto, what it called the People's Mandate, it was not in KwaZulu-Natal, but it was in Gauteng. And now, as it celebrates its 1 year of existence, it is not starting in KwaZulu-Natal, it's starting in East Rand, that is basically, as you said, in Vosloorus. So that in itself tells you that those who are holding the view that the MK party is a Zulu party are misinformed, ill-informed, and therefore have to go back and check their notes. And in fact, given the fact that also, you remember when the results first came in, on the 29th of May, the first result that came in did not come from KwaZulu-Natal. They came from Winnie Madikizela Mandela in the Eastern Cape, and the MK party got number 3 in those results. So given that history, therefore, I would say that they have more than enough reason to celebrate, and they strategically chose a place outside of KwaZulu-Natal, although we know that the main event will happen at Moses Mabhida on the 15th of December.
And at the same time, as the MK party thanks its supporters in Ekurhuleni today, they are also spreading the message that they will be eyeing, the Ekurhuleni municipality come the 2026 municipal elections. What do you make of them already making their mark in that municipality, considering how well they did during the 2024 elections?
Sisimali, if those who are in soccer, even though my team Kaizer Chiefs did not win today, but those who are in soccer will tell you that don't change the formula that works. So if the MK party was able to garner enough support in Ekurhuleni, then it doesn't make sense for them to change gear. So they have to build on that momentum going to the 26 local government election and do the same when they go to the 2029 general election. So basically, that is what all other parties are supposed to be doing. I'm not sure if they are doing it, but that's what they are supposed to be doing. You assess yourself, you check where your strengths are, and you capitalize on that, while also making sure that in areas where we're not doing well or where we are deficient, you then try to put all your resources to make sure that you up your game in the next election. So this should not come as a surprise, therefore, not for the MK party and not for any other political party. That is the way to go in politics.
And much of the rhetoric from former President Jacob Zuma today was talking about reclaiming the party, or rather, South Africa as a whole, from so-called white people in South Africa. At the same time, talking about poverty eradication should the MK party come into power and, govern South Africa. What do you make of, that rhetoric coming out so early within the party?
We all know that currently South Africa is suffering from a number of issues. One of them being, of course, unemployment, which is getting higher and higher every day. And then you also have poverty, you have crime in many areas, including where I'm currently based, where crime is just happening almost every day. So there are a couple of things, of course, not ruling out economic stagnation. So those factors are important for any democracy, for any country, because people are not going to eat democracy, they're going to eat food. If there is no food, or if there is food which they can't afford to buy, then we can forget about democracy. So those are the bread and butter issues which all politicians will be talking about when they on the build up to the 2026 local government election, and they will be doing the same, of course, on the build up to the 2029 general election. We have also heard the governing party, or in this case, not the governing party, but the leader of the multi-party coalition, which they call GNU. They are also hinting on the same issues, but then the question is, if you are in government and you know of these issues, and you keep complaining like someone who's outside of government, who do you expect to deal with those issues? So those who are in the opposition benches are in a better position to articulate those concerns and then give hope that when they ascend to power, they are going to change. Whether that will happen or not, then of course it's a story for another day. But the reality is, if you're in the opposition, you position yourself as an alternative so that if people want to vote for you, they know why they are voting for you, with the hope that you are going to change things for the better. Of course, once you are there, then things will be different. Like the ANC, when it took over in 1994, there were hopes that all the things we're complaining about under apartheid were going to disappear. The opposite has come true. Of course, in other areas, there have been some improvements. We can't take that away from the ANC. It has done a sterling job, but we could have done much better if we had a sober leadership that knew what it was doing.
And, you know, over the past couple of days, we've seen comments coming out from EFF leader Julius Malema talking about the MK party, also talking about former President Jacob Zuma and him being the leader of the MK party. And, you know, while these conversations are taking place, we are also seeing the MK party talk about a 2/3 majority and saying that as much as the EFF say that they are at war with the MK party and former President Jacob Zuma, they instead are not, and they want the Progressive Caucus to sort of unite and come together so that they can have this 2/3 majority. What are your thoughts around, you know, what the EFF is saying and what the MK party is saying, particularly when now they are talking about this 2/3 majority?
Let's start with the EFF, and in particular, the leader of the EFF, or the commander-in-chief, Julius Malema. I think Julius Malema is in a panic mode. When you're in a panic mode, you are most likely to articulate things that you are going to regret downstream. In this case, one of the accusations he's making against Zuma as a president of the MK party and against the MK party as a political party is that they are poaching members from the EFF. Okay, let's say he has facts about that. Now, the question is, when the EFF was formed, were there no members of the ANC who joined the EFF? And if the answer is in the affirmative, did the ANC complain that the EFF was poaching members from the ANC? I'm not too sure if that happened. So what I'm trying to say, Simbali, is that it's bound to happen. If you have a new political party that has been formed, there are people who are going to join that party voluntarily for one reason or the other. But then you cannot then blame the leaders of that party that they are poaching your members. The first question will be, what have you done which is scaring people away? In other words, to start with self-introspection. Then what we normally refer to as endogenous causal factors, those factors that are within your reach. Once you have done that exercise, then you go to exogenous causal factors, factors that are outside of your control. You look at those people who are threatening your party. But you cannot articulate that in public. Instead, you meet with your leadership, then you say, guys, we are losing support. Where is the problem? That is the only way to go.
All right, Professor, thank you so much for your time and for your insights this evening. That is Professor Bheki Mngomezulu, Director of CANRAD at Nelson Mandela University. They're just commenting on the rally that was held by the MK party in Vosloorus in Ekurhuleni.